Guys, you know I get excited about a good Wharncliffe. This is the QSP Pelican. This came to me directly from QSP. It's first day in pockets. This thing is a great knife so far. We're going to take a look at it from above. I've got some good things. I got some bad things. So let's turn this around. Guys, I'm finally getting around to this. So, like I said in the intro, QSP sent me a handful of knives. I'm just getting around. This is the QSP Pelican. And I've had a few knives that they've sent me in and out of pocket. As a matter of fact, I'm still carrying the Pangolin, which is a great budget knife. But this thing is on another level. So they sent me a bunch of knives in varying price points. The Pangolin being the cheapest and the Legatus being the most expensive. This one is one step below the Legatus. This is S35VN. It's done in a sheep's foot style blade, flipper, and liner lock with some gorgeous black micarta. And then it looks like that's either also black micarta as the backspacer or G10. Not sure which, because as we do on this channel, it is a blind review, so I have not looked anything else up about this knife. So far today, this has been a beautiful knife in carry. So we're going to look at the good stuff, the bad stuff, but I did want to give you a couple size comparisons first. So before we get into all that, so let's get a couple knives out for size comparison. So first off, this is the Benchmade 940. You can see this is a good bit bigger. I just wanted to do this because this is a surprisingly large knife, and we'll get into a little bit about that after we look at the final knife for size comparison. The Chris Reeve Sebenza Large 21, which is also a good size that you guys should have a reference for. Most of you guys are going to know that. And I did that because, let's get this out of the way, this is a fairly large knife, and it doesn't carry like you would expect a large knife to carry. This carries really well. It feels very light and nimble in hand, and it doesn't feel as large as it is. There's another knife that I talk about that all the time, anytime we talk about it, and that is the Miguron Knives Valona, which is a rather large knife that just doesn't have a large knife feel. The balance on this is really good. The handles on this are positioned really well, so you've got really good feel in hand, and it doesn't lose its usability. You've got overall length on this just about 8.5 inches. So action on this thing is great so far today. It did have some lock stick that has disappeared. I cleaned off the lock face and the lock stick went away. So I don't know if maybe there was just some grit or something that was causing it to stick, but it no longer has any lock stick. So Wharncliffe blade on this is ground down fairly well. It's not super thin, but it's also not thick behind the edge. So it has cut decent. It is a kind of a thick blade stock on this, but they've done a good job transitioning it because it is a nice broad blade. The flipper tab is in just the right position right there to lend itself to become a good finger guard. And it does not have the big finger choil up forward. So guys that don't like that, you're getting something right there that you like. Nice flat grind on that edge. So you can see you've got this nice, perfectly straight edge. There's no curvature to it. So you don't have any belly, so you can do a lot of stuff, even all the way up to the very tip and not lose purchase on what you're cutting. Really good for cutting things out or cutting through cardboard at the very tip. Good access to the lock bar on this with just a tiny bit of jimping that's on there that's not aggressive. So the jimping isn't aggressive, but it's just enough to give you a little bit of extra purchase. And they didn't thin it out to the point where it feels uncomfortable. There's a lot of times that people will do to try and give you a little more access to the lock bar. What they'll do is they'll take out too much material and make the lock bar thin, and then it's not helpful at all. The liners have been polished really well, so that you've got that pop of polish and that shine between the scales and the liners. And then, like I said, really good job on a backspacer. And the pocket clip is really comfortable in and out of pocket and in hand. You can't really even feel it. So there's no issue with the pocket clip and feel in hand. So I'm looking forward to carrying this. There are a couple negative things. So let's flip this around and talk about those. Now, like I said, there's only a couple of small things. The biggest one that I see from my personal is where that plunge terminates. You see how you have the sharpening choil, which is a decent sharpening choil. But the problem is, can you see that little line that comes all the way up to here, you're going to have a smile on this knife because it absolutely is a little thick right there at the very heel. So you can already see the little bit of a smile. So over sharpenings, that's going to stand up proud. I would have removed a little bit more material there just to give you, not just to remove the smile, but a little bit more standoff from the actual plunge so you're not nailing it. Not so much that aesthetically when you scratch that area, that doesn't bother me as much as the fact is you can chip your stones. Next thing is the jimping is really soft. It's in a really good position. It's just that there's not much going on with the jimping. Happens a lot with knives that have been given a really nice stone wash. I think that the tumble knocks the corners off of that vibratory tumbler, just knocks the corners off of those, and you wind up with a very, very soft jimping. I would have preferred to see the jimping maybe cut in after. I do know that that's a little bit excessive to already have finished the knife and then do the jimping, but it just makes them much more effective, or have them be a little deeper and sharper to start with. And then the final couple things, the pocket clip, it seems like the pocket clip might be a little loose. I can feel it shift in its little pocket here. I can't find my T6 bit, so it could just need a little bit of tightening. And you've got a lanyard hole, which I don't like. And the final thing, I already took care of it. I'm probably going to have to take this apart when I replace the lubricant. I haven't even done the lubricant replacement on this yet. When I disassemble this, the pivot has come loose. And I just tightened it down before we shot the video, but the pivot did come loose. So that's not such a big thing. I'm going to throw some Loctite stick on this when I take it apart, but I did tighten it back down. It's fine. But you do have to think about that when you get the knife in. You may have to Loctite that pivot. But other than that, this is a beautiful knife, and it carries really, really well. I forgot to mention, this is first day in pockets. There is a ton of weight reduction on this. I don't ever have a set agenda when I do a first day in pockets. So every once in a while, I don't think about something until it's right at the very end. But yeah, lots of weight reduction on these liners, which gives this really big knife, fairly big knife, a nice light and nimble feel. So guys, there you go. Let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. So there you go, guys. That's it on this one. I'm going to carry this for a couple weeks. We'll get it back around to the review. You guys will see it coming up. I don't know how long it'll take me to get to filming it. I do think that there's one thing I didn't mention. I'm not sure about it yet. I think I'm going to miss the ability to reverse flick. It really doesn't have an ability to, not even off of the flat. So we'll see. But all in all, it's been great so far. Sometimes those little negative things that I say about a knife, sometimes they play out and they don't wind up being an issue and don't even get mentioned in the final video. So we will take a look and see. Guys, if you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. Interacting with a video is the best thing you can do for any channel. I do have, however, several ways that you guys can support the channel financially. You saw probably something about Coffee Brand Coffee in one of the cuts. They are a channel sponsor. They just sponsored a live giveaway that we did the other day. They've sponsored a bunch of stuff on the channel. They have been amazing. I also have Tempered Trail, also a sponsor. Both of those companies share the coupon code Crazy Sharp, all one word. Crazy Sharp. I think it's capital C, capital S, or all caps. It doesn't, I don't think it really matters. I don't think it's case sensitive. I also have got an Amazon store down below where you can pick up anything that you see on the channel pretty much. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. It definitely just does support the channel, but you can take that link, pin it to your browser, use that to do all of your Amazon shopping. And then I have a tier-based members area, members benefit, where everyone gets access to my Gilded server. The baseline and premium tier members are automatically entered into giveaways that I do that are separate to the stuff that I do on YouTube. And the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series. That Gilded server is probably the best benefit I could have ever offered. It is a lot of fun. And it's a way for you to interact with other paying members and with me directly. That's it, guys. That's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.